And we're live. We're live. Hello, everyone. And welcome back to the Daily Dish with Candice Cooper. Happy Wednesday night. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening. I am definitely having a wonderful, wonderful evening. I'm excited to be here with all of you. Nobody's in the chat yet, but I'm going to give it a minute and then we're going to jump into what's going on. Let's see. We're going to jump on in here. Oh my goodness. I heard you loud and clear when you said you don't want to hear slurping. I apologize. I will not ever drink anything on the internet ever again. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't know if that's the truth, but it's such a divisive topic. I feel like half of the people on here watch those videos, like the eating videos. You watch one eating video and then you'll get fed, no pun intended, like 9 trillion eating videos. I'm like, I just wanted to watch the one. I don't want my whole feed. And then it's like, even if you pause on it for 1 second, so I'm like, oh my God, I just like scroll super quickly. I don't want to get sucked in. I've been doing a little bit of a guided journal. It's very interesting. It was a gift given to me, so I decided why not jump into it preemptively. This is gold, the artist's way. I marked so many, and there are so many notes. I marked so many pages. Oh my gosh. This is me. When I was little, I used to do book covers. I didn't even realize I had this in there. I've had like a little scratchy throat. Lydia, Queen of Palestine. Oh my gosh. I loved these sandals. These were mine. This was like a cute little dress. I remember we had to drive all the way to Brooklyn from New Jersey. And it was hot. And they would just have you like pose and they would take a picture and then the artist would like do the drawing of it. Isn't that interesting? Anyway. And then this is something that I painted. I should probably hang her up. Maybe I'll frame her and hang her up. And then this is my Dermal Institute. I took a class in 2012, 6-hour class on Chinese diagnosis, face and body reading. So I didn't even realize that all this stuff was in my book, but I'm going to have to, I don't know, hang this stuff up. Anyway, if you haven't done the artist's way, wow, I took so many notes. So I underlined so much stuff. I just underlined the whole page. Crazy. Well, so cool. But they have you like sign a contract in here saying that you're dedicated to doing it. Here it is. So March 31st, 2010 is when I wrote the contract to myself. Commit myself to excellent self-care, adequate sleep, diet, exercise, and pampering for the duration of the course. And I gotta say, I feel like it's been 15, almost 16 years since I first did this the artist way. And I have to say, I'm very, very proud of myself and the consistency at which I do all of my little regiments, my walks, my workout, my constant education in my career, in my craft, and always taking classes, always socializing, always putting myself out there, making sure I go to the doctor and the dentist, and always, you're so sweet, just always getting up and doing the work. I'm very, very proud of myself. So, Candice, if you're listening in another dimension, 16 years later, you did a great job. So you're going to have to keep on going, keep on trucking, keep on doing your workouts and, having boundaries. And it's okay to not have friends for a little bit. It's okay to, move. It's okay to quit. It's okay. You're on your journey. So Candice, if you're listening in another dimension, keep going, because it all turns out better than you could have ever imagined. And it's going to keep getting better and better and better. So, what is my channel about? Well, really, my channel is about pop culture, but I wanted to wait for everyone to join me in the chat. So, I was talking about the books that were currently on my table, and I didn't realize that I had all of these things hidden in my books. Thank you so much. So when I was a young model, I was probably 9 when I did this cover. I didn't realize I had puffin books. I didn't realize I had those things hidden in there. I love it. But we're going to talk about Jeff Lewis. What is... Yeah. Well, this isn't so much about pop stars as it is pop culture. So really, I like to talk about Jeff Lewis, Bravo, Real Housewives, Bethany Frankel, Astrology, stuff like that. So if you're down for it, stick around. And, if you're not down for it, you could keep on scrolling. But I'm happy to have you here for the little bit of time that you're here. Whew. How is everyone doing during the holidays? I joke a lot. This is the time of year. If you don't have a great family, if you have a tumultuous family, you start getting a little tweaky and a little sad. My thing is, don't end your life, because then you have to go back and do it all over again. Life truly is a video game. It just is. It just is. The older I get, the more I see the patterns. I'm like, this is very video game-esque. I feel like if you take your own life, I'm not going to be like, oh my God, you're so loved. Just reach out to a friend. Because sometimes you reach out to people and people don't fucking care. So the world is cruel. But then there are allies that you could find in your life as well. But don't end your life, because then you have to come back and do it all over again. And who wants to do that? Just fucking ride it out. All right, ride it out. Love the glasses. Thank you. I need them to see. They're not just decorative. But thank you. So if you come from a wacky family, if you're not going home for the holidays, if you're on a budget, go for a nice long walk, get yourself a nice little meal, spend time doing something for other people if that feels like it fills your cup. Maybe take an animal out of the animal shelter for the night for Thanksgiving. I know they do that for, I know they do that for Thanksgiving. Maybe they do that for Christmas as well. So there are all different ways you can fill your cup, even if you don't come from a big family. And we hear it all the time. It's like, and also don't take things personally. People are going to brag about their families. People are going to brag about their family traditions. People are going to, tell you, oh, we had 50 people at my aunt's house. And it's like, it gets to you. But you're going to create your own traditions. You're going to create your own traditional foundations and things that you bake cookies for yourself. Take a nap. Put on Christmas movies. I have the same little tinsel tree that I've had for 5 years that this girl gave to me when I first moved here. They were getting like a full-size tree. And I don't know if I could, let me show you my tree. Hold on. That's my little teeny tiny tree. But she's so cute. She's so cute. And I love her. And I have my other little, my little trees on my bookshelf, on the top of my bookshelf, and created like a little mini, winter village. I put that out the other night with the animals. I put on Bridget Jones's Diary. And I'm making my own traditions. And one thing that I realized was that I, for up until just this week, felt this crazy sense of loyalty to my birth family. And it occurred to me the other day that they've all completely moved on with their lives, had children, gotten, have new relationships, just completely moved on with their lives as if I have never existed. And I thought to myself, I've been single for 5 years. I've just been in this crazy era of just stripping everything away in my life. All my friends are back east. My family has not come to visit me, and they make no effort, no plans to. And I thought to myself, what if the reason why I have been single and haven't really built my own family is because in some weird way, I'm subconsciously loyal to my birth family and I don't want to like betray them. And I thought to myself, well, they've all moved on with their lives. Why would I be loyal to a family that is not an active participant in my life? So this week, one thing that I'm shedding with the full moon energy is my loyalty to my birth family. I release that soul tie. So that is wrapped up and complete. That I am done making a huge effort to be in their lives. I'm done reaching out. I'm done. I might have to like go back for one more trip. I have some things at my grandma's I got to wrap up, but I'm done investing in people who don't invest in me. And I think that cutting of that soul tie this week and that realization of, yeah, my thoughts always go back to my birth family, whereas their thoughts never include me in any capacity. So it's time to move on. I feel free. I feel good. I feel like this space in my heart has opened up and I don't have to constantly live in the rejection of the past, and we can move forward. And so, yeah, that's the hugest thing that I'm releasing from this recent full moon. That was like the revelation that I had. I have not allowed myself to build my own family because I was constantly stuck in this loop of trying to make it work with my birth family. And it has become abundantly clear that there is nothing to invest in there. So I feel good. I feel free. I feel ready to move forward with my life. And as a Capricorn, we develop later in life. We might develop a sense of responsibility early on, but that does give us a delayed, like, delayed blessings. God wants us, Saturn wants us, Kronos wants us to pay it forward and to suffer and to be graceful in our suffering and learn those lessons. And then, after much suffering, he will give us a muted version of blessings. King is also a Capricorn. Sure, ask me a question. Let's see, what are the questions? But this is what I'm feeling. And I feel this maybe like on a collective level. So maybe this is coming up in this live right now. Somebody else needs to hear this, that if you are finding these sticking points, and I think it's because I watch a lot of, like, I'm scrolling on TikTok and I constantly see this one lady on there and she's like, you are as rich as your mother's nervous system allows you to be. And it's like, whoa, I go back to the conversations I would have with my mom about finances, about money, about stability, about, budgeting, which was like anger. Like, my mom was very triggered by money. And now as an adult, I know it's because she did not have enough of it. So she was probably like robbing Peter to pay Paul and didn't want to talk about it. It was a sore subject, but that would have been a better thing for her to communicate what she was going through. And then that would have given me a more well-rounded view of finances, of budgeting, of, all of that stuff. So I give my mother grace, even though I don't think she would ever give me grace. I give her grace because now as an adult, I know that she was going through perimenopause. She was in a not good relationship. She had a lot of financial strain on her. But she also was very weird about accepting help. Like, she would never accept help from anybody. So it was hard to watch her struggle, but then not accept help from anyone. So, the woman who says our money is a reflection of our mother's nervous system hits fucking home. And I'm really, really trying to heal that in 2026. I'm going to keep you guys in the loop. There are very, very different mindsets there's another woman on TikTok who does the average person, millionaire, and billionaire. And she says she covers one topic as the average person, covers the same topic as a millionaire, covers the same topic as a billionaire, and what each of their thought processes are. And I've been around enough successful people. I've been in big rooms before. I've done big deals before. I mean, I was very lucky to be successful at a young age. I would love to have another chance to capitalize on a wave like that again. And again, God gave me those blessings early on. I didn't have the support system to carry me through. Then he was like, okay, now you're going to suffer and you're going to build character. So that way the next time you are on that wave, you're going to have you're going to be able to ride it infinitely. Kronos does not fuck around. I mean, I have the tattoo on my arm. Kronos does not fuck around. Looks like you're successful already. Thank you so much. How do I explain my belief in astrology? This is the best way I can break it down. All astrology is the interpretation of the astronomical aspects. That's all it is. There's an interpretation for everything. If a black cat crosses you to the right, there's an interpretation for that. Space happens. I mean, that's scientific. All astrology is the interpretation of those scientific aspects. That's it. We all know that the moon has a major impact on bodies of water, on Earth. We're mostly made up of water. So, astronomy does have an effect on your life. Josh is rage baiting me. Josh just wants me to say his name. Anyway, astrology is interesting. I just like studying things. Astrology does have such a huge effect on your life. If you've ever lived in different places, you know that your life has a different feel to it. I've lived in so many different places across America, and my life has had such different vibes in each of those places. Crazy. I mean, we could talk about that for hours, Josh. We could talk about it for hours. But we're going to talk about, thanks for tuning in, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I feel like my hair is like being, there we go. She's being a little rebellious. Let's talk about Jeff Lewis Live. So we'll talk about Tuesday, and then we could talk about today's episode. Okay, so for Tuesday, he had on Susan Powder and her producer, Zeb, or the director. I think he's the director. So Susan Powder has a documentary that came out about her life. I believe it's called Stop the Insanity. And this guy, Zeb, it was on a thread chat with, of all people, Jamie Lee Curtis. And it's like a gratitude list. So I guess he said in the text message exchange, he was thankful that he was able to connect with Susan Powder. Jamie Lee Curtis goes, does she still have that same energy? Is she still, that magnetic personality? And he goes, yes, underneath a lot of poverty and struggle, it's still there. So Jamie Lee Curtis wires this guy money and says, go back to Las Vegas and continue to interview or look for Susan Powder. He's like, I could not find her. So I guess he had to go all the way to Vegas and hunt her down. She's got the documentary coming out. She's got a new manager. She's going to be, I'm sure she'll be doing podcasts and speaking tours. And it's just so funny to listen to Jeff try to talk sense into her. She's like, I want to have 20 dogs and I want to live in an RV and this is too mask and, you know, I want it girly, but she's a lesbian, but she's kind of masculine herself. So it's very, what a fucking interesting woman she is. Hey, babe. Hey, babe. What's up? I'm right here. What's going on? You want to say hi? So she's like, you know, she wants the RV and she wants to live in the trailer park. And she's just so wacky. And she's like, you know, I have my money in my envelope in my apartment, and if I have to make $60, I, you know, to pay the light bill, I'll jump in my car and I'll do Uber Eats. And she's just so, you know, I feel like Jeff has her back in a really wonderful way, even though he's younger than Susan. I feel like Jeff is a very paternal character in Susan's life. And, you know, she's got this new manager. I just have a feeling Jeff is going to watch out for her. My concern is I don't want Susan to have, like, because she reminds me of my uncle. Like, you're talking sense to them and then they make like a hard right. And you're like, wait a second. I thought we were like making good decisions here and we were making a plan. So she's like, yes, 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 yes. No, I'm going to be in the RV with 20 dogs and I'm going to live off the land and I'm going to have a composting shit toilet. And I'm like, wait a second. I thought we were making progress. I thought you had a good manager. Like, I just don't want to see Susan squander this second chance that she has at tremendous success. Like, she could be set up properly for the rest of her life and live incredibly comfortably if she handles this second chance at fame properly. So, oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, we're just gonna boop. There we go. You're clogging the feed, bro. You're clogging the feed. Hi, baby. Iggy, I'm so excited. We're going for Iggy's teeth cleaning. And he's going to look, I'm telling you right now, he's 16 years old. Are you 16? Yes, you are 16. So he's 16 years old, and I've had his teeth cleaned twice, and we're going to do a third time. And I could tell he's just like looking a little raggedy, and the teeth cleaning will just bring him back to life. My Jack Russell lived to 2 months shy of 21. So he's 16. I feel like I want him to just be comfortable and happy. So whenever he's ready to go, he's going to let me know he's ready to go. And then, you know, I'll handle the situation. But I want him to live healthy and comfortably for as long as he can. And I do have to get him a new stroller because his stroller broke after 2 years. So he's from the streets of Mexico. He's from the streets. His name is Ignatius. Ignatius Panchito. Yeah. And he's my dude. He's my little guy. I've had him for 15 and a half years. It'll be 16 years in February that I've had him. I love him so much. I love him so much. Okay, so the second hour of yesterday's episode of Hi Babies, Jeff Lewis Live, they had on MJ and Gigi. And let's just say Jeff did not mince words. He came after Tommy so hard that I was like, this is why we want SiriusXM to have video so we could watch it. He said, MJ, just give me a look if I go too far. And I would like to have seen her face as he was saying the things that he was saying, because he said that MJ has been protecting Tommy for a really long time. Gigi agreed. They both said that they know crazy stuff about Tommy, that MJ has protected him from ever coming out. And Jeff said, are you afraid of him? And she said, no, I'm not afraid of him. And Jeff said, I think that you should get a restraining order against him. And he said, you are protecting him and you are not telling. There's so much to the story that you are not sharing. All of this stuff is leading me to think that maybe Tommy has been physically violent. Now, he was physically violent towards Reza, but Reza said that MJ had 12 pregnancy terminations, and that's why she is on bed rest. And so Tommy went to his house and broke his planter, and it was like on camera. Stupid. Like, he clearly flies off the handle. Now, I don't know if Jeff was implying that allegedly that he's got anger issues from that, if there are other things that happened and MJ just doesn't want to say it. But Jeff was like, Tommy was criticizing you, saying that, you know, bad mouthing your mom and saying that you were going to Vegas to party. He's like, we went to Vegas to make money and we got paid $10,000. How long would it take Tommy to make $10,000? 2 years. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. So not only does Jeff come for Tommy's money, but he's also telling MJ on the radio show to get a restraining order against him and to like not talk to him. Crazy. I'm waiting. So MJ has not made a counter Till the Dirt episode since Tommy released his. We're all waiting to hear what she has to say, because he was like pretty aggro on the episode. And she felt like people were really defending him. I guess she must have read some comments. I haven't read the comments. Maybe they were saying like, you're right. I feel like from my perspective, I feel like MJ is a fucking badass. Like, she hustles, she works hard, she deals with her mean mom, she deals with taking care of her son. He looks like a big boy, like a healthy big kid, seems like happy, healthy kid. I mean, she works out, she got a little work done, she looks great, she is constantly improving. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more on the Valley Persian style, which obviously I'll be watching and reporting, so we could talk about that. But I was just like, oh, wow. And then they were talking about Gigi smoking weed with Heather Dubrow. And Gigi was like, yeah. Jeff was like, oh, I heard you went out the side, doors, and you weren't talking to any people at ChumpCon. She was like, I get anxiety, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, I smoke a ton of weed. And I was like, yeah, well, that's why you fucking get anxiety. She's like, I'm on the spectrum. I'm like, well, I don't doubt that she's on the spectrum. I feel like Gigi is probably, she definitely, I can see that just watching. I was a big fan of Shaw's, so I watched all the seasons. And, I couldn't even imagine what it would, like, can you imagine what it would be like to go to BravoCon and be on the panels and have to talk to all the people, go to the meet and greets? I think the only thing that would save me is I don't drink. So I wouldn't ever be hungover and be off my game. I think that is the tough part. If you drink and go to BravoCon, woof, I would have a hard time with that. Hey, little baby. Are you a little baby? You little baby. Oh, yeah. Mwah. Mwah. I love you. I love you. I can't wait to get your teeth cleaned. You're going to look so good. You're going to feel so much better. Poor dude. Now I'm full of doggy hair. I'm like literally full of doggy hair. But he's worth it. My little nene. Yeah, it's just it was a crazy episode because I don't know what's going on with Jeff lately. I feel like there's something that he's been pretty open with us about the stress he's been under and when it comes to the show, and he's also doing another show that nobody we'll get to it. We'll get to it. Oh my God. So I don't know. I feel like there's something maybe that he's not telling us yet, and that's why he's stressing. But he does seem to be a little extra snarky lately. But obviously Heather Dubrow and Terry smoking the ganji I love that. And you know what? Heather Dubrow is probably smoking the ganji for a long time. I like her. She's cool. She's from New York. She's from the East Coast. Terry seems funny. I don't know. Obviously they're billionaires or very, very, very wealthy millionaires. I don't know. I feel like I could get along with them. I feel like I could bullshit with them. I could smoke a fucking bowl with them. Yes. So I love that Heather allegedly smoked with Gigi. It's funny. I'm like, I knew I fucking liked that Heather Dubrow. I knew I liked her. So, and then they were talking about how Gigi got a black elf on the shelf, and Jeff was like, I want a black elf on the shelf. And then he's like, well, Dory, she's a they. And Shayna's like, well, you just one-upped her because you have a transgender elf on the shelf. And he was like, oh my God. So they are so funny. They are so funny. So you know that Jeff is going to get a black elf, and Dory, they, them, is going to have a friend. I love it. It's so funny. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I love it. Okay, so today's episode, Jeff, this is why I was saying that Jeff seems like extra snarky. Today he had on Carney Wilson and Joey McIntyre for the first hour. He was making a lot of sexual innuendos to Joey about his co-stars and asking Joey, did he grab her ass? And Carney, I felt like, was so mad at Jeff today. She was like, you will not shut the fuck up. And then Jeff had Kian write fake critical reviews about Carney's candles. I was rolling. The rim immediately turned black. 5 minutes after lighting the candle, my entire room filled with soot. The candle smelled so bad, I had an allergic reaction to it. They torture Carney. They absolutely torture Carney. And Joey McIntyre, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here? You know, I feel like that's really, he's such like a goody two shoes, Joey McIntyre. Why would he be on Jeff Lewis Live unless it's because, I don't know, maybe is he friends with Carney? But I would like to see, who would I like to see on Jeff Lewis? I wouldn't mind seeing Ron Swanson and Megan Mullally. I think they would be really funny guests. Who else? I don't know. Put it in the comments below who you think should be a guest on Jeff Lewis Live. I mean, I always loved Nikki Paris. I love Nikki. I love Becky. I love Doug. Anyway, I just felt like Joey McIntyre was absolutely horrified at what Jeff was saying. He was just being really inappropriate sexually. And Joey's been married for like 25 years or 22 years. You got to watch it. You got to watch Jeff Lewis Live. Well, you got to listen to it because it's on Sirius XM. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I feel like Joey is never going to come back on Jeff Lewis Live. Never. Second hour, this is where the tea started to flow. Okay, so second hour, Jeff had on LaKendra and Ryan Bailey. And they were talking about Chumpmas and Joey. Whoa, Joey, Annie. Oh my gosh. Annie was like, I was genuinely afraid of Joey. Now, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but like, what is the fate of Annie on Jeff Lewis Live? Jeff loves her and puts a lot of trust in her. And I feel like it makes some people in the Chump universe jealous. And I feel like it made Joey jealous when Joey was drinking at Chumpmas. He was supposed to be lining people up to ask questions. And Annie was like, don't give anyone the microphone. But Joey was hammered, apparently. That's what Jeff said. And so he got really nasty to Annie and was like, here's your microphone that you wanted. And like walks away. Went in the green room, was venting to Judge Lauren Lake and LaKendra. They got him in an Uber and sent him home. What? What are you looking at? What do you want? So it was all this drama. And I'm thinking to myself, like, what is the fate of Annie at Jeff Lewis Live? Because she seems, is he using her to kind of make other people feel insecure and like they have to step up their game to please him? Because he seems to like really favorite Annie. And maybe he's just a girl dad. You know, maybe that's just his vibe. Maybe he's just a girl dad and he feels like he feels like paternal towards Annie and he trusts her and he is entertained by her. But you could tell she rubs certain guests the wrong way. Like, I could hear it in their responses to her. They could be like a little dismissive or like a little snarky. But Crystal, we could all learn a thing or two from Crystal Kung Minkoff. She is the queen of manipulation tactics. She was like, Annie, I love you. I'm going to give you my pan set. And that was so funny what you just said, Annie. Like, Crystal is a negotiator. She's like a socialite. And she knows what to say, when to say it, who to say it to, who to kiss up to. And we could all learn a thing or two from Crystal Kung Minkoff, okay? because she's got a ton of friends and she's living a very wonderful, lavish life. Now, so I heard her sucking up to Annie. Jen Fessler told Annie she looked like a two-bit whore, and then she tried to backpedal, and so did Jamie, and took her to an iHeartRadio Christmas party. So I'm like, what the fuck is this scenario here? Is Annie a pawn? Does he really love her? Is this going to be an issue with Joey Zauzig? And Joey Zauzig is going to be on the show tomorrow. And I don't know what Joey's vibe is, but he seems to be consumptive. Like, he eats a lot of food, he drinks, he's a big guy, he could handle it. But he's pushing his limits. And Jeff was mad because he was still bringing up this guy that he was dating. Jeff is like, I don't want to hear it. Why are you trauma dumping on people? Nobody wants to listen to you and your sordid love life. So much tea. And of course, they teased Ryan endlessly tonight. Yes, I'm very into that show. But they teased Ryan Bailey endlessly. I got roasted on here on the last episode. I said that I thought that Ryan's body, that they put it on a different body. And I said that because they put different hair on Doug's body. And I remember the first time they did that to Doug, and I was like, what the fuck is Doug wearing a wig? And I had to like go into the comments, and no, they just photoshopped hair on Doug's head. So, you know, that's why I said that. Ryan, just hem your pants a little bit. They looked good. You looked very handsome today. I loved the blazer. My suggestion is to get some styling product for your hair, because it was like a little floppy, and hem your pants. And I loved the blazer. I would do it with maybe like, I don't know, a navy shirt. I don't know, like a navy t-shirt underneath, or maybe like a gray t-shirt underneath. But we're getting there. We're getting there. All I have to say is the best investment I ever make is tailoring my clothes. And I buy a lot of stuff from the Goodwill. All you have to do is make little tweaks here and there, and then you have this fabulous wardrobe. So, Ryan, just hem those pants a little bit, and love the get a bunch of blazers. I would get like 4 or 5 good blazers. Get a velvet blazer, get a corduroy blazer, get a tweed blazer, get a linen blazer, and then like 4 pairs of pants. Get corduroys, get maybe like a nice cranberry colored pant, maybe get a nice khaki, and then a great denim, have them hemmed, and then invest in really good t-shirts, like really good quality. Go to like Rag & Bone or something, and just get like 2 black, 2 gray, 2 white, and a nice pair of Fry boots, and then just a good pair of sneakers, maybe like New Balance, and maybe a nice sandal for the summer, and you're good to go. You're good to go. We're talking about wardrobes. Do you not buy clothes? I do know how to dress a man. Anytime I have a boyfriend, or when I was married, everyone always looks very handsome around me. And I do hair, so I always make sure their hair is on point. So when I saw Ryan's hair today, it was just like a little floppy. And I just wanted to zhuzh it just a little bit. And maybe just give him like a spray tan or maybe a little bronzer. And he's looking good. He's on his fitness journey. His daughter is coming soon. So everyone likes Ryan Bailey, and Ryan said that he's been messaging with Chris Frangiola, and it's all good. No one's mad at anyone. So all good. They're all going to see each other at Sarah Colonna's party. Justin, Chris, Jeff, all the chumps, Joey, of course. So I feel like we are going to have a lot of tea over the next few weeks, and I'm here for it. I'm here for it. So I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Daily Dish with Candice Cooper. Don't forget, like, comment, share, subscribe, leave comments down below. Let me know how you feel about the last few weeks' episodes. What do you feel about Joey? Do you feel like Annie and Joey are going to make up tomorrow? And yeah, don't forget, like, you know, read some books. The Artist's Way and My Beautiful Life. And yeah, we're going to start the year off. We are going to start this year off on a good foot. I believe in you, okay? I believe in you. I believe in me. And I will see you guys on the next episode of The Daily Dish with Candice Cooper. Mwah. Love you. Have a great night, you guys. Bye.